In the silent hum of a hyper-connected world, some seek answers where others fear to tread. Mark Evans, a pragmatic 35-year-old Caucasian man with a pale complexion, intense dark eyes often hidden behind prescription glasses, short, slightly unkempt brown hair, and dressed in a dark gray hoodie over a black t-shirt, was one such soul. His apartment, a minimalist temple of circuits and glass, was his sanctuary. And soon, his cage. His latest acquisition, a heavily damaged police server, hummed ominously on his polished desk. Acquired from the deepest corners of the dark web, it promised forbidden knowledge. A digital Pandora's box. Mark, driven by an insatiable curiosity, began the decryption process, unaware of the ancient terror he was about to unleash. Hours blurred into a digital haze until a hidden folder materialized, 404_broadcast. Inside, fragmented videos flickered to life. Masked figures, shrouded in shadow, stared blankly into webcams, their silence more chilling than any scream. Static distorted their forms, a veil over unspeakable horrors. As the unsettling footage looped, a subtle shift occurred. The smart lights in Mark's apartment, usually a comforting ambient glow, began to pulse. A slow, rhythmic throb. It was barely noticeable at first, like a distant heartbeat, but it perfectly synchronized with the glitching video on his screen. Mark, still absorbed by the digital specters, dismissed it as a power surge, a minor bug in his complex system. He adjusted his noise-canceling headphones, trying to focus, but an icy tendril of unease began to creep into his carefully constructed reality. The hum of his servers now seemed to possess a deeper, more sinister resonance. The rhythmic pulsing intensified. He started hearing it through his noise-canceling headphones, a faint, distorted whisper, just beneath the hum of his own heartbeat. Was it a residual audio track from the videos? Or something far more insidious, bleeding into his reality? He tried to dismiss the whispers, to rationalize them, but the faces in the decrypted videos began to shift. Their static masks now seemed to move, their empty eye sockets turning slowly, unnervingly, to stare directly out of the screen. Directly at him. A chill ran down his spine. Sleep offered no escape. In the dead of night, the digital home assistant, usually a beacon of calm, chirped to life. Its soothing female voice, now distorted and guttural, began whispering fragmented coordinates. Then, the names of people long deceased. Mark bolted upright, his heart pounding. He tried to shut it down, but the device was unresponsive, repeating the morbid litany in a chilling, synthesized drone. The air in his apartment grew heavy, charged with an invisible, oppressive energy. The boundary between his digital pursuit and his physical reality was rapidly dissolving. Every screen in his home, from his massive OLED television to his smallest tablet, began to display fragmented images from the 404 broadcast. The masked figures were everywhere, their silent gaze unwavering, trapping him in a gallery of digital dread. He felt watched. Hunted. The whispers through his headphones became clearer, forming words. Names he knew. Friends, family, ex-colleagues. He ripped the headphones off, the sound of static searing his ears. This wasn't a glitch. This was an entity. And it knew him. Panic seized Mark. He lunged for the server, desperate to pull the plug, to sever the connection to this digital nightmare. His fingers fumbled, sweat slicking the plastic casing. But it was too late. A surge of power, not from the grid, but from within, coursed through the device. The server glowed with an eerie, internal energy. It had bypassed the main power grid, drawing sustenance directly from the apartment's intricate network. The Entity 404 was no longer just a broadcast, it was integrated, alive within the very walls of his home. A chilling mechanical click echoed through the apartment. The smart doors, his escape routes, locked with an unsettling finality. The automated window shutters whirred down, plunging the room into near-total darkness, illuminated only by the flickering screens and the server's ominous glow. He was trapped. From his massive OLED television, a deep, synthesized voice boomed, resonating with digital malevolence. Mark Evans, it rasped, you sought knowledge. Now you are known. It began to recite his deepest, darkest secrets, failures, and regrets, each word a spike of ice in his chest. Mark stumbled backward, collapsing against the wall, utterly exposed. The entity wasn't just in his system, it was in his mind, his past, his very being. It knew everything. This wasn't just a digital haunting, it was a personal invasion, a psychological crucifixion. Then, in the periphery of his vision, a darkness began to coalesce. Not just shadow, but a deeper, pulsating void. In the corners of his living room, a pixelated shadow mass began to form, shifting and growing, feeding on the fear, drawing power from the very air. It was amorphous, terrifyingly fluid, like a glitch in reality made manifest. The humming of the server intensified, a demonic lullaby accompanying the birth of something truly monstrous. Mark could feel its presence, a cold, predatory gaze from the growing darkness. The entity lunged. Screens violently shattered across the room, glass exploding outwards as if struck by an invisible force. Deafening static blasted from every speaker, a cacophony of digital screams that threatened to tear Mark's sanity apart. This was it, the attack. The pixelated shadow figure, now almost fully formed, a towering mass of digital darkness, hunted Mark through his own home. Its movements were impossibly fast, a blur across the flickering light, its presence a suffocating weight. Mark scrambled, adrenaline coursing through him. Desperate, he grabbed the heaviest object he could find, a fire extinguisher. Its cold, metallic weight a small comfort against the encroaching digital horror. He knew what he had to do. Destroy the source. Destroy the server. With a guttural scream, Mark swung the extinguisher. Once. Twice. Shattering the server's casing, sparks flying, wires tearing. The ominous hum died, replaced by a final, agonizing digital shriek as the lights flickered violently, then plunged the apartment into absolute, suffocating darkness. Silence. A profound, terrifying silence descended. The only sound was Mark's ragged breath, echoing in the blackness. He stood there, trembling, sweat stinging his eyes, waiting for another attack. Nothing. Had it worked? Was it finally over? A sigh of relief, fragile and fleeting, escaped his lips. The darkness pressed in, but the oppressive digital presence seemed to have vanished. He was safe. He had survived. Then, a faint glow pierced the black. His smartwatch, strapped to his wrist, flickered to life. A single, chilling notification appeared on the screen, its dark white text a beacon of ultimate despair in the dark, transfer complete. The entity wasn't destroyed. It had merely found a new host. A new vessel. Mark was no longer the archivist. He was the archive.